and I hope you're going to be able to join me for a little bit of creative time tonight. So I'm going to make some stuff. I've got a few ideas of what direction I want to go in, but as usual, I haven't worked out exactly. We're just going to kind of make it up as we go along, and I'm going to ask you guys for a little bit of help. So it'll be a collaborative session like I like to do. So, how is everyone? If you're close to me, I'm on the east coast of Australia, and if you are anywhere near me, you are probably like me and in lockdown. So, we are locked down at the moment. For us crafters, it's not nearly so bad. We have a hobby to sustain us and keep us busy and entertained. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Hey, Kay, nice to see you girls. Happy Sunday. Getting ready for another week. I have got lots going on this week. I've got a online class I've just put up yesterday, and getting all of that cut up and ready to send out to everyone who's part of that. And what else have I got? I've also got a scrapbook page, 2 scrapbook pages that I'm designing for a class, not this week, but next, up in the Hunter Valley. And yes, I know I'm in lockdown, but doesn't mean we can't do them by Zoom. So that's what we did last time. I was on the computer and they were all there because they're not locked down up there. And that's how we did it. It worked pretty good. So this time I've got to have all my scrapbooking stuff sent up to them this week so that they'll have it in plenty of time for next. Okay, so I'm just going to go onto my computer and make sure that it's where it should be. It's not showing up yet, so give me a moment. Here we go. I can see it. So what's important is I need to see your comments, and I can. Oh, hello. Lots of people here. Awesome. All right. So let's get this camera around and turned around, and we'll get started. Hi there, Judy. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to switch it around. Jenny, that's not good. That's terrible. That's not the kind of thing I want to read. Wow. I'm glad you're okay. Obviously you're okay if you're typing to me. But okay, let's get this party started. All right, who have we got? Oh, hello from Alaska. Yvette. That's a long way away. You know what? One of my most favorite holidays ever was in Alaska. Stampin' Up sent us there back in 2018. They did an Alaskan cruise. We went from Seattle up to Juneau and Skagway and those kind of places, and it was just magic. It was summer and so beautiful, you know, really, really lovely. Just reading through the comments. I don't want to miss anybody. I won't say hello to everyone individually. I'll just say hello and welcome to all of you. It's so nice to have you here. And hello. Cindy, never done scrapbooking. Look, scrapbooking is, how will I describe it? It is a labor of love. It's something a lot of us started it when we had, you know, small children or grandchildren. For me, it was when my daughter and my son were really tiny. I got into scrapbooking as a way of socializing, but also, you know, it met that creative urge for me, and that was my first foray into papercraft. That's how I got started, and then I moved sort of sideways from that into cards as well and other paper crafts. So it was scrapbooking was my gateway drug, actually. Let's put it like that. Hey from Perth, hello. Hope you're not locked down over there. I don't think you are. Who have we got? And that's not what I want to read, Jenny. I'm so glad that you're okay and the pets are okay. Goodness me. Yeah, that's how I got into cards, Cindy. I thought, well, I've already got all the supplies because I had all the scrapbooking stuff. So I'm just going to put my AirPods in because I think that will give us better sound. And I always put them in beforehand, but they're working much better than they did before. Oh, yes. Alaska cruises are the best. I love them. It was a totally different kind of cruise to a tropical cruise, and I really, really enjoyed it. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, those fireys know their job. They really do, don't they? All right, so you may have seen me playing with this set a lot this month. I'm going to make a card today with it, but I'm going to use some other stuff as well because we've only got less than a week left of our paper sale. our DSP sale. And so I'm going to use a bit of DSP tonight, and I'm going to pair it up with this set. Also, for anyone who's doing my online class or is considering, this is the set that I'm using in my online class this week. You can do the class even if you don't have the set, because you can substitute with other stamps. But if you do have it, it's a bundle. Let me quickly show you the dies in case you haven't seen me show this off before. Love this bundle. It's so good. Look at all these fabulous. They're starting to get all messed up because I keep pulling them in and out, in and out. But this is, to me, one of the best bundles we have at the moment in the annual catalogue. Look at all the leaves and flowers, and there's tags and little labels. It's just a fantastic set, and I have been using it pretty much, I would say, to death, really. I'm using it for my scrapbooking class coming up, and I'm using it all over the place. So it's just been really lovely, and every single card I have made with it so far, touch wood, this is not wood, maybe there's some problem. Every card I've made with it so far has turned out beautifully. So if you were watching on Friday night on Facebook, you would have seen I used it then, and we made a couple of really lovely cards. In fact, let me show you the one we made on Friday night. We made this one on Friday night, and that's just a bunch of stamping, a bit of sponging, masking, and I used some of our linen paper to cut the tag in those dies and stamped the thinking of you, which is right here. And that's it turned out really nice. I was really, really happy with it. I will tell you that in the online class there is a card that is inspired by this one. So it's different. It doesn't use the same stamps and things, but it's a similar idea. So I will tell you that that's in there. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. How much is the bundle? The bundle is $91.75. It's just so useful. And it's, all the stamps and all the dies. How many dies are there in here? There are 13 dies in this largish set and 10 stamps. Okay, so it's a substantial bundle. And $91.75 is the price. So there you go. Last one you substituted with Garden Wishes. Yeah, I mean, you can substitute. It's terrific. All right, so let's have a little play. I thought, I've already gone ahead and I've cut out. I didn't think you'd want to watch me cut this out. I mean, I can chat to you while I'm cutting, but it's probably not all that interesting, really. This paper is called Bloom Where You're Planted, and it's one of the papers that's on sale at the moment. So the sale goes until the last day of this month. So I think is that Friday? I think it's Friday or Saturday, something like that. I should probably know the answer to that. What is the last day of July? April day, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. Yeah, so it has 31. So Saturday is the last day of the month, and that's the day that these papers are on sale until. And this paper has got lots of, if you're a green person, there are also dies and stamps to match it. I actually don't have them, but I have actually been cutting these out. But if you don't like cutting, if you don't like fussy cutting, there are dies that cut these out. So you can stamp and then cut them with the dies, or you can just cut them straight out of the paper. But they're really, really nice. This is the one I've just cut out, this little plant right here. These are all very kind of neutral colors and greens, but I really like them. So you got some wood grain on the back there. That's like a wood paneling, and then just straight wood grain. And then we've got some greenery. We've got some bricks. The bricks are really useful for all kinds of things. And we've got some lovely hanging vines, which you could cut this down the middle and use this so it's coming down from the top of all your cards. So, just cut it down the middle and use it for different card fronts. And some more greenery, more bricks, different kinds of bricks. And I think that's it. Yeah. So let's see how we go. Like I said, I've already gone ahead and cut this. I don't have the dies, but I went ahead and cut it by fussy cutting. I actually like fussy cutting. I'm one of those weird people who really enjoys it. I've got a piece of the Bloom Where You Planted paper here, and I'm going to pop it here. Okay, I'm deciding actually which color to use. I think I will stick. This is Soft Succulent, which is one of our new colors. And then this is Evening Evergreen, which is the darker green in the new colors as well. And I like them both, but I think it looks rather nice. Yeah, it's a really good bundle, I have to tell you. So, all right, so let's put this on. I'm going to actually, I've already cut a circle, but I'm not convinced I love the circle. This is the soft succulent shimmer paper, and it does look nice. Like if I was to put this under here, it would look nice, but it's not going to give me a very dark look underneath. I could put it on a light piece or a metallic piece of paper, possibly a circle, or I could even just go with another option is a vellum circle. So this is white vellum, and this one is the soft succulent vellum, and I'm worried that that just sort of disappears into it a little bit too much. Do you think so? What do you guys think? Hey Denise, nice to see you. Hey Beryl. So they both look good. Anyway, before we do that, I'm going to start doing some stamping. I really, really love two of these background stamps. The splatter, which is this one here. Love, love, love it. And I love this type, this kind of wordy stamp here. So I'm going to use both of those, I think, because they're the ones I used on that other card that I just showed you. I just look how grubby this block is. It needs a good clean. Goodness me. Oh, well. I'll do that after the video if I remember. Right, so I've got the splatter on a D block and I've got this one on an H. Is this an H block? Yes, that's H block. All right, and I'm deciding whether to go with soft succulent, which is the same color as the paper, or whether I'm going to go up to evening evergreen. I'm going to start with this one. Let's see how it goes. I could always add in a couple of evening evergreens if I want to. Or maybe I'll do the evening evergreens for the splatter. That might be nice. Right, so one thing I do want to do is make sure I've got the letters around the right way. So you always want to have a little check because it's hard to see by looking at it. You need to actually look at the back to make sure you've actually got the letters the right way. And I'm just going to, yeah, it's dark enough. So what I want to see is if I have this here, I want this to kind of poke out a little bit from behind. It doesn't matter if we go over it. And I'm kind of just stamp it off here. So let's see how this looks. So I've got my piece of paper. So this is, I'm going with the wood grain. This is the other side where I cut this plant out from, but I'm going with the reverse side here. So I could use this, which would look nice. See how I've got it coming from behind here? And, or I could go with the, this might look better now that the text is behind. What do we think? Which one do we like? The white vellum? You prefer the white vellum? Okay. All right. Well, you guys are the first ones to respond, so that's the one we'll go with. We'll go with the white vellum. And the question is, do I want to sponge over the back of it? I don't think I do. I could sponge a little bit here in the middle to add a bit of oomph, but I don't think I will. Now, before I stick this down, I've also got my splatter here, and I'm going to bring in my darker color for that. So this set is just so forgiving, and it's almost like you almost can't go wrong. I haven't seen a bad card made with it yet. I know there's a couple of girls I know who hate it when I say that. Can't go wrong because I think I put too much pressure on. All right, so let me see how that's looking. So right now you're probably thinking, what is she doing? So, okay, I like the way the splatters are coming out in the darker color. And this is looking rather nice. I wonder if I should add a little bit of color. You know what? I'm going to give that a whirl and we'll see how it looks. So I'm going to grab my blending brush here and I'm going to go into my evening evergreen. I'm just going to do a little bit here in the middle and just let's see how, if this darkens up a little bit, if that looks nice. And if we don't like it, we can always cut another circle, right? So this is just cut with the layering circles. Can you see that that is adding a little bit more oomph? I think it does look better. Okay, liking that. All right, I'm going to stick this down. So when I said at the beginning that you guys are going to help me, when I'm not sure about which direction to go with a color or a type of paper or, whether an element should go there or not, I like to ask you guys because you all have great ideas. All right, and so far, I think we've had almost 100% success rate with the cards we've made together. Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? All right, so, okay. I'm liking the way that looks. And I just like this little bit of print coming out of here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some dimensionals. And I'm going to pop them behind the pot and about halfway up. A bit over halfway. Because I want to make sure that these bits won't have dimensionals on them because they're going to stick off the end of the circle. So what's anyone got exciting things planned for the week? If you can go anywhere, or even if you haven't, you got any things planned for home this week? I'm going to actually add, I probably should have done it before I stuck that down, but I think I want to have one little bit more bit of writing. I feel like there's just not enough coming out the bottom, and I'm going to stamp it off. Let me see if I can lift this. If I'm careful, I can. There we go. Just feel like I just need a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. And even just having that little bit out the bottom there when it's stamped off, it just gives us a little bit more of a background look. All right, so now that I've got my plant on, I can actually turn over the back and put dimensionals under here and hide them behind where the plant is. So that'll be, yes, embossed vellum would look really good as well. You are correct. I think that would also look really nice. Right, I'm happy with that. All those are hidden behind where the plant is. That's the good thing about vellum. You can see through it so that you can see exactly where you need to put the vellum. All right. That's looking cute. All right, I think I'm just going to grab, let me see if I've got a green dauber here. I do, although it looks, sometimes my daubers get a little bit past it, like this one's starting to, bits of dauber starting to come off. It's an old one. Let me just see if I can get enough from it just to ink around the edges. Bits of dauber going everywhere. This is definitely its last time to be used because I have really given it a run and it's starting to fall apart. I'm just being lazy. I could just get a brand new one out of the cupboard, but I'm trying to use up what I've already got sitting here. Can everyone hear me okay? Hey there, Karen. No such thing as late. You can always watch the replay anyway if you've missed anything. So, no, I might have to, you know what? This might be too far gone. I might have to get a new one out. Just trying to give it a bit of a darker edge. All right. And then last down this side. And then this one is going in the bin because it's really had its day. Look at all the little bits. All right, in the bin it goes. Okay. All right, that's coming together really nicely. Aren't these plants nice? I really like them. The stamp set that matches them is really cute as well. It's like I said, it's called Bloom Where You're Planted. I think that's what it's called. Let me just double check that. If anyone doesn't know, when you're to use a catalogue, right at the very, very back, you've got your stamp set index, which is really, really handy if you're looking up. So it's not bloom, is it grow where you're planted? Oh, I don't know. What is it? Anyway, if you go back a few pages, you come to the dies section, like you've got adhesives, and then you've got all your dies alphabetically. So these are in alphabetical order. They're the standalone dies. But if they're part of a bundle, like this one is, okay, then it will be listed separately and this one is listed under perfect plants. So the DSP is called Bloom Where You Planted, but this one, the actual stamp set, is called Perfect Plants, and it's the Plentiful Plants bundle, which has got all these dies as well. So this is on page 81. So quickly, let's have a look at that. All right. So what I do like about the way they've set this out this time is that they've got on the page that these are introduced, like the suite is introduced, and they have some beautiful samples and some ideas for you to beg, to borrow and steal as much as you would like to. So there's some really lovely ideas here. The other thing that it tells you is the matching paper, what colors are in the matching paper. So they're all listed here. And I think everyone knows this, but the stamp sets, unless it says otherwise, all the stamp sets in the catalogue are actual size. So you can see what they are going to look like when you stamp them. And if you have, for example, if you had a punch, just say I have a punch that's this circle, which of course I don't because there's no circle punches anymore, but that's another story. This is actually a die. I can now put this over here and see what it will fit. Okay, so if you have a piece of paper, like a piece of cardstock, go around with some of your punches around the outside, and then you've got like a little template that you can place over the actual size stamps in the catalogue to see what fits what. So that can be a really handy thing if you haven't done that before. Yes, I could have done it into the ink pad. I tend to be a bit heavy-handed when I go into the ink pad. I do it sometimes and I slide it along, but I have been known to get way too much ink on the edges of my cardstock, and then I'm in a bad position where I've got ink everywhere. So I was trying to avoid that. But yes, you are correct. That is definitely another way to do it. I just don't really quite trust myself to do that. Some people are much more careful than I am. I'm not always super careful. Oh, that's okay. All right, so this is the set, okay, and it's got all these bits and pieces. The other thing to note is that the suites have a collection, okay, and the collection is like a bundle of things that is the stamps, the dies, or maybe a punch, the DSP sometimes, and something else in there. So this one includes the stamps, the dies, the DSP, the matching DSP, which I just showed you, and also the paper lattice, which is this lattice look that you can actually attach the stamps to, and these are available as standalone items, but you can actually get them in a suite, which is really nice. So it saves you a little bit of money. You've got a 10% saving when you're buying them as a suite or as a bundle. So anyway, that explains it a little bit. So the whole suite, which is stamps, dies, the lattice, and the DSP, everything is $114. Now, this has been something they've done in this catalogue. You see it less in the mini catalogues. The mini catalogues have much bigger suites and collections. Okay, so they're more expensive, but they have a lot more in them. Whereas in the annual catalogue, they keep them down to roughly usually 4 items. And the reason why is it's great if you're getting started or you're just looking for something really basic. It means that the prices are cheaper for these collections, but it's a great way to go if you're looking to get a group of products that work together really well. So I hope that all makes sense. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? Oh, thank you. I'm not even finished yet. All right, so here we go. We've got this here. Now, I did earlier cut out, here it is, one of the labels, just so you didn't have to sit there and watch me do it again. All right, so I've got one of the labels here, and I can decide where I want to put this. So I'm thinking probably down here, and I'm thinking possibly up on dimensionals. I've already cut this out. Now, I need to be a little bit careful because I only cut out one, and I've got my evening evergreen here. I'm going to make, shall we make this? Which stamp would we like? We've got 2 stamps that are going to fit really nicely on this tag. One says thinking of you, and the other one says you're too kind. So the first person to tell me which one they would like will get to choose which sentiment we're going to have on here. I'm just watching the comments to see who is first. Anita, you're too kind. There we go. So I'm just going to pick that up on my, this is a little G block, this one, which is really, really great size for sentiments. Now, What I find with these long, skinny sentiments, and here's a little tip for you, it's really, really easy on a long, skinny sentiment, especially if you're using new ink, which I am. It's a pretty new ink pad, so it's very juicy. Very easy to pick up extra ink around the edges and then transfer them to what you're stamping on, which means then I'd have to cut this out again. I guess I could turn it over. But I don't know if you've ever noticed the dies, even though you can use both sides, one side is usually the better side. So this is like the right side of the die because the paper curls down, whereas the other side it's like a sharp edge. I have sometimes used that, but yeah, let's just go in here. So what I want to do is I want to go very, very gently, like tapping really gently onto my ink pad, and I want to go straight down. Do not rock the stamp backwards and forwards. I don't know why everyone does this, but nearly everyone rocks the stamp when they put it into the ink pad, and that's when you pick up all this extra ink on either side. The other thing you do is you give it a good eyeball. I think I've missed a little bit down the bottom there. Okay, you give it a good eyeball and you make sure that there's no extra ink. In fact, you can even do the finger test and run your fingers around the edges and make sure that there is no extra ink on the edges of that stamp because I don't want to transfer them to my label here. That would be bad. All right, so before I do this, I'm going to bring my head in for a second, I'm sorry, and I'm going to stamp it on my grid paper. Grid paper is fantastic for double checking that I've actually mounted this stamp correctly. So it's pretty close, it's pretty good. So that means that when I put it down the way I think it should go, it's going to be in a straight line. It goes up slightly at the end, but so little that it's hardly noticeable. So I'm doing the finger test again, because I do not want to pick up extra ink. And then I'm going to this time use my grid paper. I'm putting my label on the grid paper straight, bring my head in over the top, and I'm just going to stamp that straight down on my label. Hold it straight down. Do not rock the stamp because guess what everyone does? They go like this. They stamp it and then they go. And I think everyone thinks you're going to get a better image if you do that. Guess what? You're not. You're not going to get a better image. In fact, that's when you're going to start transferring any extra ink onto your project that you don't want. So straight up, straight down onto both the ink pad and also onto your project. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, Cookie is a bit quiet tonight, isn't he? He's eating. That's why. I'm quiet when I eat too, usually. Hi, Cherie. Never too late, honey. That's all good. All right, so now I've got my word here, and I'm going to put that just here. And I'm deciding whether I'd like to have, and I think I do, one of my favorite things to tie onto any project is a bit of linen thread. And linen thread is one of those things that's got that really great natural look. I mean, we've got other thread. I've got white, I've got gold, I've got silver, I've got all these different ones. And they all look great too. But there's something about linen thread that has that really lovely natural kind of a look. So I'm going to pop this down here in this little spot right here in the corner. Not quite straight. I'm fussy when it comes to making sure it's straight. The grid paper really helps you get things straight. If you don't have grid paper, go invest in some, guys. It's not expensive. There's 100 sheets in a pack in ours. Or you can buy the little square grid paper if you want something smaller. I mean, this is like A3 size, but if you want something small, you can get the Stamparatus grid paper that fits into the Stamparatus, but you can use that on your desk as well. All right, so I'm liking the way this is looking. I'm going to tie myself a bow with my linen thread because I want this kind of natural look. Did anyone notice that there's some macrame dies in this set? Like I said, I don't have the dies for this one, but if you haven't noticed lately, if you haven't been onto Pinterest or a million other places, macrame is back. Has anyone else noticed that? I think it's something I was never really into when it came around the first time. I was a little bit young back in the 70s, but I certainly remember it. And I remember my mum and her friend making little owls and things like that sat on little twigs and stuff. Does anyone else remember those? Yes, there is a macrame embossing folder. And Do you notice that Stampin' Up! Tends to work with whatever's in? If you notice when they bring out new colours and stuff like that, in no time, all of a sudden you start seeing those colours in your home decor shop and all that kind of stuff. You did lots of it when you were younger, Nicole? Yeah, I think a lot of people did. All right, I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter. Okay, do we think it needs bling? I mean, we have some choices, right? We could do some little evening evergreen jewels out of the in color jewels pack, or I could go something more neutral and add some gilded gems, which are just the gold faceted gems. Which one? Who's first? Which one would you like? Yes, they are always on trend. They are. And it's also sometimes when they bring out colors, I think, really, what are they doing there? And then I suddenly see the colors everywhere. So sometimes Stampin' Up! Is the first place I see it. You have the little grid paper, Michelle. That's awesome. Yep, and it does fit on a small space. Yep, I agree. And it fits your stamper artist as well. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll have to have a little think about cacti and succulents. I've also got a bit of an idea that I think might work with that punch, and I have to experiment and see if it works before I tell everybody what I'm thinking. Oh, the blending brushes. I know. They keep on going on back order because they're so good. Do you know you can add them to your order, even if they're on back order, and then they'll just send them to you when they come in. And sometimes I think that's better than not ordering and then trying again later in case it goes back onto back order again. At least that way, as soon as they come off back order, they'll fill the back orders first and you'll get what's already on order. Whereas if you don't order them and you try again later, they might be back on back order again. So gold and little gems. Okay, so the first answer was the gold. Okay, so that means we're going to go with those. All right, so I'm going to put, I've got actually a little bit of a blob here and I'm going to cover that up. Not that it's terribly noticeable. I've got a medium-sized one that I'm going to go here. And I've got a little tiny baby one and I'm going to pop him up here. And then I'm going to put that whole thing onto a white card base. You could do another color too, although I need this for another project, but it would look nice on grey granite, wouldn't it? What do you think? Do we like it on grey granite or white? I think the grey granite. Or we could also try crumb cake. That would look nice too. So there's a few options for colors. What do you guys think? Oh, did she? I know who it was. It was Susan Campfield. That's who it was. Did you watch Susan Campfield today, Anita? So not the crumb cake. We're going to go, do you think the grey? It does look good, doesn't it? Yeah. You know how I know? Because I was chatting to her this morning and she was talking about what she was going to do in her Facebook Live. Was it Facebook Live or YouTube Live? YouTube Live. And she said she was thinking about using the shimmer vellum, and I said try embossing on it because it embosses really, really well. She said, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that." How funny! Isn't that funny? Susan and I are good friends. So we actually are each other's accountability buddies, if you guys know what that means. So that means we check in with each other on a regular basis. We share our goals. We give each other ideas, and we work really well together. So yeah, and if you look at the reverse side, so if you were to emboss this on this shiny shimmery side, you get the embossed raised image. But if you turn it over on the back, it's all outlined in white, and that's a really nice look as well. So yeah, I did do that recently with a Christmas project. So there you go. All right, so we've had a whole bunch of different people suggest different colors, and so far the first one was Anita with the grey granite, and then most people seem to like the grey granite. So this is the one I'm going to do. Might as well do it now, hey? I'm running out of grey granite and I need it for my class this week. So I've actually already spoken to a demonstrator friend, a team member who I'm going to go over to her house probably tomorrow and borrow half a pack of grey granite because mine's not going to arrive in time. I'm going through a lot of it at the moment. So I'm going to use Tombow. You could use Seal as well, but I'm just going to use Tombow to stick this on. I actually like this card. I think it came together really nicely. It's nice to use the DSPs, the different papers, in lots of different ways. So even though I don't have the matching stamp set for this DSP, you can get by. Like I've used another set. I've used the Quiet Meadow set because I love it. And how nice is the splattery background? Doesn't it look good? Which I've got a little mark on there. There you go. Take that off. Looks really, really cute. Really like it. Thanks. I'm glad you like it too. But yeah, look how nice that wordy background looks, and the splatter just makes it. This is from the paper. So I've just cut this out with scissors. And then I've used a piece of the paper on the side here as well. And then I've used one of the Meadow dies to create the tag. So, so a little bit of a mishmash of things, but that was kind of an idea I had in my head, and it turned out pretty nice. Liking it. Yeah, thank you. I'll post this on my Instagram and Facebook pages tonight. So after I finish this video, I'll put them up so that you guys can get a really good look at them. If you're not a member of my Facebook page, head over there. I'll put the details in the description below at the end of this video, so that you can click over there and hit the like button. So you'll see when I go live over there. I go live over there on a Friday night, and I go live here, of course, on a Sunday night. So if you're elsewhere in the world and your times might be a little different to that, but at least it gives you a bit of an idea. Okay. All right, so we did something existing, and I used the Quiet Meadow bundle because I wanted to remind everyone that I'm doing my online class with that this week. If you're overseas and you'd like to do the tutorial with me, you can purchase that just by itself. If you're in Australia and you would like the supplies as well, where I send you everything and then you make it up with the tutorial, you just need to place an order through my online store of $50 or more. So there you go. All right, let's play with something new. So that was something old. Now we're going to do something new. Not really old, it's current, isn't it? And I'm thinking we're going to play with something that I was thinking I should be able to get a nice kind of an Australian bush looking thing going with this. Okay, so this is a new bundle that's coming in the new catalogue. This goes live on the 3rd of August. And this one, oh, I can't remember what it's called. The set is called Christmas Season, and the stamps are called Seasonal Labels. I've got to remember, it's a bit naughty. Let me just quickly have a look at my mini catalogue that I'm not allowed to show you yet, which is very sad, but I can look at it and tell you. So this is the mini catalogue. You're allowed to see the outside, okay? But I can't show you the inside until it goes live. But I'm allowed to show you the products, so that's not so bad. All right, so the set is called Painted Christmas. Sorry, the suite is called Painted Christmas. And this is called, these two together are called the Christmas Season Bundle. Okay. And included in this, they've got some gold holly leaves, which actually I do have those. Let me quickly find them for you. I've got my little carousel here that's got all my bits and pieces in it. And what did I do with them? Here they are. So, no, that's the bumblebees. So these little guys are gold. They're gold leaves. Huh. Can I find them? That's the thing. I might have to... No, bumblebees again. So, oh, here they are. That's them. All right, so these are called the gold holly leaves. This is part of the same suite, and they're really, really pretty. They're like little delicate, I don't know if you can see them very well, little delicate embossed leaves with a bit of a shine to them. They're part of this same suite. What else is in the suite? This gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon is also part of the suite. This is cherry cobbler and gold metallic ribbon. And I don't know if you can see it. It is just stunning. So beautiful. It's kind of papery in feel, and it does tie really, really nicely. I'll prove that to you. It's a lovely ribbon to tie. And they've got this in this cherry cobbler and gold combo. And they've also got it in a different suite, the Blackberry Beauty suite. They've got it in just the straight gold. And both of them are gorgeous. And I used both of these in the tags that I've just sent out to my customers with their new catalogs. So if you have placed an order with me in the last year or so, you will have you'll be getting one of those, and you may get this ribbon possibly in the tag. There's 1, 2, 3. What ribbons did I use? There was several different ribbons that I used. So this is the gold, same thing, but it's just gold. Okay, so you can see how nice those are. Right, so that's part of the same suite, these, and the paper, all right, which I won't show you right now because I'm not going to use it, but I may use both of these. So, right, so I thought I might start. I've got a piece of, are these photopolymer? Yes, they are. So we're going to need a mat, and I am going to start by stamping some of these over the edge. So does everyone realize that they've now printed the stamp sets, the reverse here, so that when you take them out, instead of having to put them back in between the plastic, which is always, I have to tell you, it's always been a little bit of a pain when I pull this out. Now, when you're finished with them, instead of putting them back in the plastic, you'll just put them back straight into the case and they'll sit here. So that's the reason why they've done that. I've had a couple of people say, why are they printed it backwards in here? Because you're going to stick them there, and that's where they'll go. All right, so I'm going to start with a good neutral color, which I'm going to use the soft suede, and I'm going to use that pine cone that I just popped there. I'm going to put it on a D block, and I'm going to pick a couple of other colors, a couple of other stamps while I'm at it. So what I want to do here is I want to use kind of bush type of colors. So there's a few colors that work really well for that. Mossy Meadow is a great color for kind of Australian natives and things like that. But because we've got the new colors Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, I thought it would be rather nice to use those since they combine really well and they're new. So I thought that would be nice. So what else will I use? I think we should use some of these holly looking leaves because they look quite Christmassy, don't they? Is this one stamp or two? Okay, this is one stamp, which means I would be very, very careful about taking this one out of the case because I don't know if you can see they're not joined by a lot here. So be very careful when taking these out because they may easily break apart. And I've had that happen with some of my stamps in the past. And I think I might do a little cone. And of course we'll need some berries. So you've got to go. Spud peeling, Judy. Well, good luck with that. You're very welcome. Nice to see you too. And let's grab some berries. Now I may decide to add a couple of others, but these are the main ones I want to use for now. So it's the kind of stamp set that you're going to probably use a lot of different ones. But I've just pulled a few of them out. I'm not going to be cutting any of them out. I'm just going to be stamping them. So now there's no Christmas words in this set, you might notice. It's just building up a little Christmassy scene. So I'm going to start with the soft suede. And I'm going to start here right in the corner. Now this is going to give me, it's one of those kind of distinctive stamps, so it's going to give me some light and some dark. Can you see that? Nice, isn't it? Isn't this nice? Love, love, love it. All right, so I'm going to go with, I'm going to go some Evening Evergreen. Let's go dark first. I'm putting this close to the edge so that I don't get ink all over my pad, all over my mat. Let's go the lighter green. I like the soft succulent. It's kind of a neutral medium tone, so it's kind of cool. Bring this down to the edge. And then we've got a little cone. So I'm actually thinking I might stamp this one off just to get a different colour. So back in the soft suede, stamp it off, and then let's give it a lighter colour. I'm going to use this guy again, but I'm just going to go over the edges. Just like that. Now we are going to need some, we're going to need some berries to brighten it up, I think. Well, you know what's really nice about this set, and I think it's easy to miss, is that it has really, really lovely, and I mean really, really lovely labels with it. I might do a third one of those up here. It's kind of cute, huh? Now, I'd like to put something in the other corner, but just a small something. So I'm thinking maybe our holly and maybe a little bit of something. I'll push it up here. The other thing, of course, I could do is have a piece of paper over the top of my mat so that, yeah, I only want a little bit of something here. I'm looking at this one. I think this is really nice. I might pull that in because it's like a different shape to play with. You like this, Jenny? That's good. The set is called Christmas Season. The suite is called Painted Christmas, just to be a little confusing, right? And then the bundle is called Christmas Season Bundle. And the season dies, I'm going to show you those in a minute because they're really nice. I think they're the standout of this set. So I'm going to... And I might even add a little bit of this down here as well because I kind of like these. It looks a bit like a Christmas, like the pine needles looks rather special. I like them in the darker colour. Have I added too many? No, I don't think so. All right, so that's looking really nice. I'm going to go with one lot of berries. And I'm thinking, yeah, so I'm using cherry cobbler and it's a little bit light. I've realized that my cherry cobbler probably needs re-inking, but actually I don't mind it. I don't mind it on here. Right. I'm using, in case you're wondering, I'm using very vanilla paper for this one. You could use white, but I decided to go with very vanilla today. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice set, right? Isn't it nice? So, all right, let's look at the dies. So these are called the seasonal labels dies, and you'll see why I like them in a second. All right, so you got these. So you've got all these different label shapes. So you can, have a long label that would be great for a longer saying or sentiment. You've got, little pine cones. We've got a big pine cone here to cut out those two pine cones that we've used. We've got some to cut out the leaves. We've got one to cut out the berries. So I could, if I wanted to, raise up those berries because that would look rather nice, wouldn't it? And it cuts out all four of them at the same time and they're like joined together. But then it's another page. Look, see, that's not all. There's more. You've got your holly ones. You've got a big label here. You've got other shapes that are going to cut out the different leaves and things that are in the stamp set. So it's a really great companion bundle. The dies work so well with these stamps, but I love the labels. I mean, how nice are these, right? I'm just deciding which one I want to use. Do I want to have it kind of here? That might look nice. That's probably about the right place for it, actually. Or I could go with a smaller one. The thing is, there's no words in this, so I'm actually going to grab a word set. Maybe I'll have it in the middle here. So we've got a number of word sets that have some great words, but let's see. This one, Heartfelt Wishes, has Merry Christmas, Happiest Holidays, much gratitude and sending love. So it's not just for Christmas, but that is a really nice Merry Christmas Will this fit? No, I would need the bigger one. Or I could use the long one. The long one might be good actually. So I'll put that back in. Oh, you can't hear. I'm sorry. All right, let me type it for you. The stamp set is called Christmas Season. The bundle with the dies is called Christmas Season Bundle. And the whole suite, as Beryl said, is called the Painted Christmas Suite. Okay, so there's a couple of names in there which probably make it a bit confusing. I think maybe this one is going to be my one because I do really like the font in that set. So it makes me think it's going to be the one for me. So let's see. I'm going to cover up a little bit of my leaves here, but I'm not worried. I think that's okay. All right. So I've got some more Very Vanilla, and I'm thinking, deciding. I'm thinking I might go with the Evening Evergreen for the stamping, which is this one right here. And I'm going to need, I think this will be big enough. So this is another H block. And these are brand new. I haven't ever opened them before, so I need to put them together. And you guys get to watch me do this. And I know that you love watching me put these stamps together. And there it is. There's the Merry Christmas. And everyone now, I think, is used to me doing this. So I'm going to do it for anyone who hasn't seen how I put the stamps together. This is it. Okay, I did a video specifically about this. I find that little join in the middle here and I fold back the corners. Okay, are you getting tired of me showing this? Because every time I do it, someone goes, oh, I've never seen that before. All right, so I've got a block. All right, so I'm going to peel from the, I've done this in the middle, and now I'm going to peel from the end, and I'm going to peel the whole thing off. So there's nothing left there on the sheet. And then I'm going to put it face down. Actually, you know what? I need a bigger block because it's going to be a little bit too long for that one. I'm going to push it down. Okay, so it's just sitting there on the block, and then I'm going to peel off the backs. All right, this is now sticky. I'm going to turn this over. Actually, I'll do that in a second. I'm going to find my Merry Christmas. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. On my rubber stamps. A little bit too low. Is that better? Actually, Beryl, I know some people get away with doing the slant thing. I don't like it. I don't know. Just I'm not good at doing slanty ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this face down here. So, and I've taken the back off it. So this is where the label is meant to go. I'm going to turn my block over, and then I'm going to line it up with the stamp because I can see it through my block. And I'm going to position it on there, and now my stamp is mounted. Okay, now you can either use it straight away, which I'm going to do, or you can take it off and put it back in the packet. But such an easy way to mount your stamps. Now remember what we were saying before about long skinny stamps and how easy it is to pick up extra ink. Let's see how I did. Okay, I've got a bit here. See how they're long and skinny? So you always want to do the finger test with these long skinny stamps and make sure you've taken off any extra ink around the corners. Other than that, that doesn't look too bad. A little bit there, I think. All right, let's give that a whirl and see. Now I'm doing it onto a piece of Very Vanilla paper. So if I haven't got it quite right, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to put it just here. Okay, nice. Isn't that a nice font? I really, really, really like it. So yeah, I'm not someone who likes I don't like a slanted. Is that what you mean? Like that? Personally, it's not for me. I know there's some people who can make it work and good for them. I just don't like it. I like things to be straight. Occasionally I might do something where the design is on a diagonal. Like, I mean, this design is on a diagonal. Or I might have strips of paper on a diagonal, but I don't like words on a diagonal. I just think they look wrong. But that's only my own little funny thing. Anyone else feel the same way? You don't like slanted either, Anita? Yeah, no, just not my thing. But I know there's people that can make it work, and I look at what they've done and I think, well, that's pretty clever. All right, so I'm going to put this through. Now, I've made this a little bit too wide. When you're going through the mini machine, you need to make sure your paper is not more than 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters wide. That's your standard, okay? So I'm just going to cut this down with my trimmer. I'm cutting it down to 3.5 inches because then that's going to be the perfect measurement to go through. All right, so I've got that on there. I'm going to bring in my So what I want to do is make sure I've got this lined up nice and straight. It's a bit hard to do because I need to sort of bring it closer to me. And I'm doing this so that you guys can see it. So I kind of think that's about right. What does everyone else think? Does that look pretty straight? All right. Then we're going to put in our top plate. Push the whole thing in and let it grab. And every time I do it, I get so excited that my table doesn't wobble anymore. So good. The new desk is awesome. All right, so I've cut off the ends, but I don't think that matters. I think that looks nice. And then we're going to put that here. So it's going to go over my design a little bit, but I don't think that looks bad. All right, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind that. I think that this will look nice popped up. And if you only use one on each end, I could still do other things. I could add ribbon, or I could put a little bit of bling underneath, or something else. So this is my first card made with this set, and I have to say, I think I'm going to like it. Nice, hey? Isn't that lovely? All right, so I have got a bit of evening evergreen paper here, and I'm thinking I'm going to mount this on evening evergreen. I think that looks nice. So just let me cut it to size. I didn't want to cut the paper until I was sure about my colors, but I think that's right. So this is going to be card front size. That's 10 centimeters by 14.3. That's the right size for a card front. That would be nice. Yep, a bit of red ribbon. So it's going to go really nicely. This is part of the suite, of course. We've also got this bow that I tied before. So we could also put this just here, perhaps. What do you think, guys? Do we like this? Is the ribbon too big? Should I think maybe if I tie a slightly small, I might make the bow a little bit smaller, but I like the colors. And I think as well, those gilded gems might be about to get a run again, because I think the gold gems will look really, really nice on that. Oh, and I could also add, oh, I just had a thought. Okay. Just had a thought of what I want to do. I could have sponged around the edges of this too. That would probably look quite nice, but okay, that's coming together nicely. So what I was thinking might look good, I've got some of these little gold leaves that we were talking about, and I was thinking maybe a couple of these coming out from behind my sentiment might look good. So maybe A couple of those, maybe. So these is just an idea. You guys can tell me what you think. Do we like them? What do you think? Do we? Yes? Gold leaves, yes or no? And then bow, yes or no? Is the bow too much? I feel like I need something here. So, not that I always feel the need to do every inch of my card, but I think maybe that might look quite nice. So let's tie this. The bow looks better, definitely smaller. It does look very Christmassy, doesn't it? I agree. I think you could do lots of nice bush themed cards with these colors. And it does, I think, look quite Australian. Okay. Is it too much with the gold leaves? What do we think? To the opposite side? So you mean maybe up here? Is this what you're thinking? Do we need them at all? Maybe just the top one. Just the bow. Yep, we've got a few different opinions here. Do you think it needs them? That is the question. Sometimes I have to look at something for a while to decide. All right. I think people are agreeing that maybe we don't need them. I still like them. I'm going to put them on another card. Don't you worry. They'll get plenty of use. But do I need them on here? Probably not. Yep, I think so. I'm going to put those back and use them on another card. And I'm going to add some gilded gems. So that's what I'm going to do. I've actually got a couple of packs of gilded gems on the table here. Just wanting to make sure I find the right pack, because I'll have to tell Susan, Anita, that that you mentioned her in my video tonight. She'll be really, really pleased. She'll be excited about that. It's nice to know that people are watching your stuff, and sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it's like, does anyone watch what I do? I've certainly felt like that in the past. Oh, I just found something new. Let's make... Yeah, that's probably too Australian, Cherie. Thanks for the idea, but maybe not on this card. It's not really Christmassy. Okay, these are stunning, and they're brand new. They're called the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Okay, can you see them? They're gorgeous. They're like it says, they've got like a brushed look to them, and you've got gold, copper, and these are like they're like a pewter. They're almost green in color. I wonder what officially they're calling those. So we're going to go with the gold. It's so funny. All right. So deciding where to position them is always the thing. I think I'll have a bigger one down here, and then maybe a small one. I'm deciding where they're going to look good. Small ones here and here. Actually, no. I'm going to go small one just on the edge here. There we go, and then that will be mounted on a very vanilla thick piece of cardstock, I think. Or maybe I'm going to do like I did last time and change my mind. Maybe a soft succulent piece would be nice, because I have some of that here. Look. What do you think? Should we go on this, or should we go the vellum? I think maybe this. Maybe they are called platinum. I'm sure it says in the catalogue. I'll have to look it up, but I just think they're stunning. And one of my teammates, I was chatting to her the other day, and she said she hopes these never go away because they're just beautiful. And I tend to agree. They'll be so useful for so many things. Platinum could be right. What do you hate? Sky raisins. Oh, that's so funny. You guys are so funny. Oh, thank you. I love it too. Thanks, Lorna. Nice to meet you. Bronze, copper, and gold are the colors. Yeah, it doesn't look bronze to me. So copper and gold, yes, but this has more of a green tint to it. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to go with the soft succulent paper and I'm going to attach this. So we've now got ourselves 2 cards. I've got one that I've made with the beautiful Quiet Meadow stuff, and the other one that is a Christmas card. I've made a couple of Christmas cards now. We did one the other night as well. I did one on Friday night. We did the one with the reindeer. Was anyone here for that? I had done previously a gold and cherry cobbler reindeer with this ribbon. And then on Friday, I did a green one with just the gold ribbon. There we go. I like it. It turned out kind of almost like it did in my head. It kind of got there. So I think these 2 cards are really nice. I'm going to post them and you'll see them up on the Instagram and also on the Facebook page. And like I said, if you haven't joined my Facebook page, please go over and hit the like button and come and watch me, because I go live there quite often and I put up stuff pretty much every day. And I love chatting to everyone who wants to be part of that. And I love all the paper crafty friends that I've made through my page, which has been fantastic, wherever you are in the world. Thank you. I'm so great. This is your first live, Yvette. Well, you're very welcome. I hope you'll make time to do another one down the track. That's fantastic. You're very welcome to case it, of course. Anything, I figure if it's on the internet, it's fair game. So I don't get cross or anything like that when people copy my stuff. I feel very honoured. Actually, it's actually it's quite an honour thing to think that someone thinks your card is worth copying. But I have to say, I do love it when people give me credit or mention it. It's really nice when people say, I was inspired by this person, because that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to inspire people. So there we go. All right, people. Well, thank you so much for watching me tonight. My desk looks like a bomb went off, but hey, that's nothing new. I hope that all of you have a great week wherever you are. If you're in lockdown like me, that you find lots of fantastic, beautiful, crafty things to do, or anything else. Maybe you're a chef. I put up a picture on my private VIP page today about what I cooked for breakfast this morning. I made my own hollandaise sauce and was very proud of myself. It was a yummy breakfast, but I know that different people handle lockdown differently. I do start to find the cook in me comes out, and the crafty stuff comes out, and I also try and get some reading in as well. So yeah, you have a great week too. And Kay, I will see you on Zoom week after next. And a few of you girls, I will see you around, and maybe I'll see some of you in my online class this week. Okay, have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.